Hello again. This is the third game upload I've tried to do tonight. The other two, the image quality wasn't great, so I scrapped them. Basically, I did a little bit of gameplay on Tsukuyoga Rentai, which was my top Saturn shooter in my Saturn Top 50 video, followed by Darius Gaiden, which was number 2. And this one is the first Tate upload of the night. Bearing in mind I deleted the last two, so it's really the first gameplay video that anyone will probably comment on. It is, of course, Layer Section, otherwise known as Galactic Attack, otherwise known as Ray Force. Arcade series ported over very successfully to the Saturn. And this, as many of you will know, is one of my favourite bosses in the game. It's a fantastic kind of challenge, really, this one. It's a bit like a Radiant Silver Gun type of enemy. And while we're on that subject, of course, many of my loyal viewers will of course, like me, be massive fans of Silvergun and would have thought, why on earth didn't I choose that as the number one Saturn shooter? After all, it was, in spectacular, original, the rest of it. I did take value for money into account, so you've got to appreciate when a game is £200 or thereabouts. It does lose an aspect of sort of meganess, and if a game is £25 like Darius Gaiden was, and Tsukuyoga Rentai was when I bought it anyway a long time ago, I think that counts for something. It may not be as cheap now. Still, this is Layer Section, and I must have rated it in this top 15 because I've only kept 15 Saturn shooters. I eBayed all of the others in order to pay for more arcade games, because when you're buying arcade games, £400 a time, it's a very expensive hobby. So I have a strict policy of only buying them when I have a PayPal balance. So I need to sell stuff to buy stuff. Anyway, Darius Gaiden number 2, clearly an incredible game. Huge amount of variety for £25. It's probably more now. Some games have shot up really dramatically. The one that comes to mind, funnily enough, is Gerikinden, also by Taito. I sold that for, I think it was about £80, which I thought was a fantastic price. I paid about £50 for it, I think, Gerikinden, but now it's like 150 or 200 or something. Crazy money. Still, hopefully Layer Section hasn't reached those kind of prices yet. When I bought it, like I say, it was probably about £20. Those were the days. I have no idea what's happening to Saturn prices and if they're going to carry on. Probably plateau, won't they, at a certain level at which people just won't buy the games. But a collectible item like a Saturn, maybe people are prepared to pay in the hundreds. Anyway, I'm not making a video about how much money people are prepared to pay for Saturn games. I'm making a video because I've just tated my spray painted Trinitron and wanted to just make a couple other comments about it. Seeing as I haven't uploaded a video for a while, as you know, I found a few TVs in the skip and in various people's houses and things, and the Trinitron was found in a skip. It was a dirty grey colour, and I'd had it for a number of years. I'd adjusted the geometry on it to work well with my PC Engine and the Saturn, and also the ZX Spectrum. And it's a really crisp picture. I would say it rivals the Bang & Olufsen in overall terms in my CRT collection. Bear in mind, I don't have a high-end CRT like a flipping broadcast or whatever type of monitor. Any case, I love the Trinitron. It's a great set, 14-inch set. It's really sharp, nice little punchy picture. So I thought it was worth actually bringing it up to aesthetic level, on par with the Bang & Olufsen, which is aesthetically, I don't think you can find a better CRT than the Bang & Olufsen. You certainly don't find the same kind of aesthetics on a Trinitron set. Usually, they don't tate as well. Usually, this one does. It's a square build, and so forth. Anyway. The point being that I spray painted it because I wanted it to look good, and it looks so much better now. It's you're basically concentrating on the image, but when your eye does stray to the gorgeous shiny Sony logo or the matte black casing, it does satisfy at least me, and I think that's important when you've got a retro set. It's important that it fits in with your living space and your aesthetics. So I'm very pleased I spray painted it. I did find a white Sony Trinitron, a very early model actually, and it happened to be the same model that Renton had in the film Trainspotting in 1996 or so forth, which I watched recently because of the sequel. Any case, I tried to sell it on eBay, but it was actually faulty. Couldn't get a picture out of it. No one was interested. Didn't get around to relisting it, saying this is the Trainspotting TV, and it's been skipped, unfortunately. Not by me, hasten to add, but it wasn't in my house, so it wasn't my decision. So there you go, a bit of CRT goodness. Hope you've enjoyed watching these brief updates while I play later section. A very, very brief update on my most recent gaming. I have in the last 2 weeks bought a PS4. Again, not something. What am I saying? Not something I thought I was going to do. Being a retro gaming player myself, but I was after basically The Last Guardian, so I had to buy it basically. Loved Shadow of the Colossus, and had seen some previews of Last Guardian and thought this looks fantastic. I'm not disappointed. It's a beautiful game, really stunning. I could have got the version that had Horizon as a pack-in, which looked good, but then I watched the gameplay trailer and I thought, oh, this just looks a bit too much like Uncharted. It's sort of Hollywood gaming, where you perform a nice sort of jab move on your enemy, and it kind of does a bit of a set piece with the camera angles and stuff. And that's too slick. It's too slick. I might buy in the future, but on the other side, I saw a very moany review of The Last Guardian where this guy was saying, some of the highest highs and some of the lowest lows of any game I've ever played. Oh, what a whinger. He's just saying that the camera angles ruined the experience for him. I mean, come on, how many of us have played endless games with dodgy camera angles from the beginning of the 3D genre, and it doesn't put you off. It's just one of those things. Games with much worse camera angles around than The Last Guardian, I don't think that detracts from it at all. It's a very atmospheric game, well worth getting. And of course, I couldn't stop with one PS4 game. I had to buy Alesso Corsa, I think it's called, the racing sim, which I'm pretty chuffed with as well. Got that for a really good price. That's enough about PS4. I don't know if I'll get the VR set. I expect I will in the future, but it's about 350 quid at the moment, and I have no intention of starting to spend loads of money on my PS4. I have bought an arcade game or two in the last year. Most recently, Dodonpachi Dao Jiao for the PGM2. That's the Asia version with the easy mode, which is a great game. Pig Sweets, which I've mentioned very briefly in my last video, and XEXEX, which I may have done some brief gameplay footage of, can't remember. Horizontal game by Konami, absolutely awesome game. It's good to have a horizontal in the collection. It's the only horizontal arcade game I have actually in the collection. Bit of a hassle turning the TV around to play it, but it's worth it. I've also got a stereo sound mod that the Legend RGB made for me, so that I can get stereo sound out of the board into my speakers, which are all wired up via jammer. I've always wondered about this final section. I've never really got particularly far. That's interesting. It's probably the furthest I've got because I've continued. Anyway, thank you for watching, he says stupidly. That's not a new gesture, by the way. It's not a new channel gesture, that fingers in the air. It's just something self-conscious to do when you're being selfied. Over and out. Thanks for watching.